It's Friday, March 27th, and we'll be reading Deuteronomy 13 and 14.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. So you're on 13, right there.
Yeah.
And 14's right there. You're right.
14.
You ready, Gabriel?
I'm not even tired.
You're not, well, you've been up in the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just sweaty.
You are.
That's
All right.
sleepy.
And sleepy?
But you're scared because of the
Okay, chapter 13, Idolatry. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass concerning that which he spoke to you, saying, "Let us go after other gods," which you have not known, and let us serve them, you must not listen to their words.
To the words.
To listen to the words of the prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. You must follow after the Lord your God, fear him, and keep his commandments. Obey his voice, and you must serve him and cling to him. That prophet or that dreamer of dreams must be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you out of the house of bondage. No, to entice you away from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you must put the evil away from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or your beloved wife, or your friend who is as your own soul entices you secretly, saying, "Let us go and serve other gods," which you have not known, neither you nor your fathers, namely of the gods of the people who are all around you, near you or far away from you, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him or listen to him, neither shall your eye pity him, nor shall you spare or conceal him, but you must surely kill him. Your hand must be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. You shall stone him with stones, so that he dies, because he has sought to entice you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. All Israel shall hear and fear, and no more do any such wickedness as this among you. If you hear it said in one of your cities in which the Lord your God has given you to dwell, saying, "Certain men, the sons of wickedness, are gone out from among you, and have seduced the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known," then you shall inquire, search out, and ask diligently, if it be true and certain that such an abomination has been among you. You shall surely put the inhabitants of the city to the sword, utterly destroying it, all that is in it, and its livestock. With the edge of the sword you must gather all the spoils of it into the middle of the street, and burn the city with fire, along with all the spoils within it, for the Lord your God, and it be a heap forever. It must not be rebuilt. Nothing of the cursed thing there must cling to your hand, so that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, have compassion on you, and multiply you, just as he swore to your fathers, if you listen to the voice of the Lord your God, to keep all his commandments, which I command you today, and do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. Chapter 14, Clean and Unclean Food. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves or make any baldness between your eyes for the dead, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a peculiar people to himself, treasured above all nations that are on the earth. You must not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, gazelle, the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the ibex, and the antelope, and the mountain sheep. You may eat every animal with divided hooves, with the hoof divided into two parts, and that chews the cud. Nevertheless, you may not eat of these that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, the camel, the rabbit, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but their hoof is not divided. Therefore they are unclean to you. The pig is unclean to you, because it divides the hoof, yet it does not chew the cud. You must not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These you shall eat of all that are in the water. All that have fins and scales you may eat. Whatever does not have fins and scales you may not eat. It is unclean to you. You may eat of all the clean birds, however, these are the ones you cannot eat: the eagle, the vulture, the buzzard, the red kite, the falcon, the kite after its kind, every raven after its kind, and the ostrich, the owl, the seagull, and the hawk after its kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the white owl, the pelican, the carrion vulture, and the cormorant, the stork, and the heron after its kind, and the hoopie and the bat. Every creeping thing that flies is unclean to you. They must not be eaten. You may eat all the clean birds. You must not eat of anything that dies of itself, but you may give it to the foreigner that is in your gates, so that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Tithes. You must be certain to tithe all the produce of your seed, so that the field produces year by year. You must eat before the Lord your God in the place in which he shall choose to place his name, the tithe of your grain, for your wine, for your oil, and of the firstborn, of your herds, and of your flocks, so that he may learn to always fear the Lord your God. If the distance is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, because the place is too far from you, where the Lord your God shall choose to set his name, when the Lord your God blesses you, then you shall exchange it for money, and bind up the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God shall choose. Then you may spend that money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen, for sheep, for wine, for strong drink, and for whatever your heart desires, and you may eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. And the Levite that is within your gates, you must not forsake him, for he has no portion or inheritance with you. At the end of 3 years you may bring forth all the tithe of your produce the same year, and lay it up within your gates. Then the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. And
That is
Deuteronomy 13 and
13.
14.
Bye. Have a great day. Please subscribe. Thank you.